The profit motive, a fundamental principle of capitalism, drives individuals and private companies to pursue financial gain. While this pursuit can lead to innovation and economic growth, it can also result in significant societal harm. One of the most pressing concerns is the tendency for businesses to prioritize profits over ethical considerations. Examples abound, but perhaps one of the most obvious is dog culture.
Hi, and welcome to K-Nun Productions, giving you the straight dope on dogs.
Dogs are akin to a very defective and harmful product, which regularly harms consumers and the general public, both directly and indirectly. Not to mention the detrimental impact dogs have on local environments and their massive carbon footprint. In general, product recalls occur as a result of safety or quality concerns, yet dogs seem to get a pass. Unfortunately, capitalism is one of those things, much like dog culture itself, about which many people are reflexively defensive. The desire to defend it is deeply personal and ideological, but looking at the profit motive itself, you would be hard-pressed to counter that there is something inherent to it that somehow precludes detrimental activity. If something is profitable, it works. The ethical objections to things that are produced and sold under capitalism or to unethical practices necessitated by the production process, that is something that must be imposed onto the basic drive for profits, and which can even be seen as an impediment to it. Hence, the tendency of neoliberal ideologies to portray government as an impediment to free enterprise, when in reality, government and business are not mutually exclusive. They are, in fact, interdependent and, in reality, the relationship between them is characterized by a continuum rather than a dichotomy. But, back to the prioritization of profits leading to unethical practices. We see this all the time. It often manifests in exploitative labor practices, where companies cut costs by underpaying workers or providing inadequate working conditions. Such practices not only undermine the well-being of employees, but also perpetuate systemic inequality within society. Historically speaking, labor rights were hard-won through a lot of agitation and activism because the tendency of private employers was to focus only on the maximization of profits, even at the expense of worker safety. Look no further than the Gilded Age. This period saw significant social inequalities and abysmal working conditions that necessitated collective action among workers. As industries flourished, laborers faced obscenely long hours, meager wages, and hazardous environments, without any form of compensation or protection of their rights. In response to these dire circumstances, workers began to organize themselves into unions and engage in strikes to advocate for their basic rights. Others advocated for alternatives to capitalism. Strikes became a common tactic employed by workers seeking change. However, they often met violent resistance from employers and law enforcement. That means the government protecting businesses. The Haymarket Affair of 1886 exemplifies this tension. A peaceful rally advocating for an 8-hour workday turned deadly when a bomb exploded, leading to widespread repression against labor activists. In general, there was a persistent struggle for basic rights during the Gilded Age and through much of capitalism's earlier periods. Child labor was a serious problem for a very long time, and sweatshops originated in the United Kingdom and the United States of America. That's right, sweatshops and sweatshop-like conditions were very much a thing in America, a little-known fact. Moreover, the profit motive can incentivize environmental degradation. Companies and corporations frequently prioritize short-term financial gains over long-term sustainability. For instance, industries such as fossil fuels and manufacturing may engage in practices that pollute air and water sources, contributing to climate change and public health crises. The drive for profit often leads to a disregard for regulatory measures aimed at protecting the environment, as companies lobby against stricter regulations that could impede their profitability. This behavior illustrates how an unbridled pursuit of profit can have dire consequences for both ecological integrity and human health. Furthermore, the relentless pursuit of profit can foster a culture of consumerism that prioritizes financial gain over social responsibility. And once again, dog culture is a perfect analog. Advertisements often promote products based on their ability to enhance status rather than their utility or necessity, and there is nothing more needless than dogs. This culture not only exacerbates economic disparities, but also contributes to mental health issues stemming from unrealistic societal expectations regarding success and happiness. Thus, while the profit motive is a fundamental aspect of capitalist economies, its unchecked application poses significant threats to ethical standards, environmental sustainability, and social cohesion. It is undeniable that the profit motive is a major driver of the sale and manufacture of dogs and dog-related products, accessories, and so on. There's absolutely no telling how many private companies are built exclusively or predominantly around dog-centric bullshit. These businesses abound, and those invested in them are not opposed to dog culture. They in fact thrive on it, as dog nuttery itself is unfortunately very lucrative.